Recently, there's been news Gary Lineker has left the BBC. Uh, I believe he was supposed to leave at the end of the season, but even then, he's gonna stay on for some further things. He's gonna leave Match of the Day apparently. But not only has he uh, left early in terms of he's left now, but he also left altogether. He won't be in any capacity with the BBC as far as I'm aware. And this was apparently because he shared something. I believe he shared something, or either reposting it or whatever to his story or something on Instagram or another social media, where I believe there was a symbol. I think it was the rat symbol. It could have been a different symbol, but regardless of whichever emoji it was, and in a message he says that there's a symbol that has connotations, negative connotations, which he didn't notice. If he knew, then he wouldn't have shared it or whatever else. Whichever symbol it is, I've heard it's the rat emoji. It could have been any emoji, whichever emoji is. Firstly, there's connotations. So someone could post a water emoji, and then people get offended by it. Should we stop posting water or everyday objects? Now, these are just connotations. So if people want to take it to the negative way, they can do so. This is the first time I've heard of such a theory of this emoji means this and this means that, and where have they got this from? And secondly, people are upset over a connotation, and the BBC are upset over a connotation, but they don't seem to be upset over people being murdered, genocide, tens of thousands of people being murdered, people being starved, no food allowed, people being burnt alive, their homes being so many other things, and then famine happening, and so many other things, and things are being censored, and things are not being labeled correctly to please certain people. These things are not. They have connotations of. These are clear cut. These things. You don't want to do anything about those things. You don't want to speak about those things. You don't want to highlight it. You don't want to hold Israel accountable. But something that could have a potential connotation, you lose your plot over it. Could have. You lose your plot over could have connotations of. Whereas these things are actual people being burnt alive, and you don't want to take action. So someone who's posted something, who's reposted, not posted themselves, that could have a connotation. You want to do this to them, but you don't want to highlight genocide and people being burnt alive and these things. And also, I'd like to make a note of and speak about, as far as I'm aware, if I'm incorrect, then correct to me. Gary Lineker, whatever he reshared, whether it's this particular poster from the beginning, from October 2023 or beforehand, in terms of what's happening in Palestine, as far as I'm aware, he's not posted anything anti-Semitic or illegal. If he has, then let me know. Because if he did, then it would be headline news that he's posted or reshared or whatever, or said something that's anti-Semitic and or illegal, but he hasn't. So you want to get rid of him for something that has a connotation of, which isn't illegal and anti-Semitic, but actual things where people are being burnt alive. You don't want to highlight this. This shows you how society is being manipulated, and the BBC has their big part to play in it. And in history, decades to come, they will be the ones that people will be looking at and saying, you were the ones that had the chance to cover it correctly, and this is what you chose.